everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to start doing these makeup tutorials for you, and we're going to start off with an everyday makeup look. So without further ado, let's move on to the face. So I'm going to prime my face using the L'Oreal Magic Lumi primer. I really like this one because it brings extra luminosity to my really dry skin, and that helps out a lot with the foundation that I'm going to be putting on over top. For foundation, I'm going in with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. I'm in the shade 3.0. I really like this foundation because it does give you a medium coverage, but it's very buildable and it doesn't look cakey, even with the different layers that you put on it. So you could do up to 3 or 4 layers of this foundation if you want, and it won't look cakey. Covering up some extra blemishes on my face because my skin has been hating me lately. So for concealer, I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape. This concealer is probably the best concealer I've ever used in my life. Not only is it really full coverage, it's really lightweight, and it, again, just like the foundation, it doesn't look cakey at all. And when you blend it out, it just melts into the foundation, and it just looks really seamless and really beautiful. And another thing I really like about this concealer is that it doesn't crease, which is amazing. And I'm also dragging this, I'm also dragging this concealer onto my eyelids to prime for the eyeshadow that we're going to put on later. So to set the concealer, I'm using the Translucent Powder by L'Oreal. And I'm just going to dip my wet beauty blender in there and just pat it all over the underneath of my eyes. And I'm also going to drag this powder onto my eyelids like you see me doing here, just to set the concealer that we put on top of the eyelids. And right here I'm setting my smile lines because throughout the day, those things can get crazy. So sorry this shot isn't in focus, but I am using this powder from Maybelline to set the rest of my foundation. This powder is really good. It adds a little bit more coverage, but not too much, and it just sits really beautifully on top of the foundation. And I'm also dragging this down my neck so that we're all matchy-matchy, you know. For bronzer, I'm going to go in with the Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer from Physicians Formula. This stuff smells amazing. And I'm taking a big fluffy brush and just putting this all around the perimeters of my face. What I really like about this bronzer is that it's very buildable. The first layer you put on, it's not too opaque, which is actually really good with a bronzer because you can build it up and you have a little bit more control. And I'm also dragging that down my neck, you know. And I'm going in with the Wet n Wild contouring duo. And I'm just taking a little bit of the contouring shade in there with that same brush and just going over the bronzer a little bit just to give me a little more definition. And there's a cookie I made. They're really good. So I'm going in with the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. I bought this blush from recommendation from Kathleen Lights. Thanks, girl. I really appreciate it, because it's really beautiful. And I'm just putting this all over the apples of my cheeks, and I'm putting a little bit on my nose so that I look a little flushed. Next, I'm going in with the Ofra Cosmetics highlighter in the shade Beverly Hills. And I'm just going to take those first 3 shades you see right there, and I'm mixing those together, and I'm using that to highlight on top of my cheekbones, and also my temples a little bit, as well as the tip of my nose. Yep. The tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose, as well as my Cupid's bow. Can never have too much highlighter, that's for sure. It's my highlighter dance. Alright, so we're gonna zoom you in, because now we're gonna do the eyes. This is the fun part. Alrighty, so I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going in with a fluffy brush in the shade Raw Sienna, and I'm just putting this all throughout my crease. You really don't have to be precise. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. You just gotta slap it on there and call it good. As long as the edges are blended, you're all set. Don't worry if any of these shadows get on the actual lid, because we will cover that up after this is all done, so don't worry. Next, I'm going into burnt orange with that same exact brush, and I'm pretty much doing the same exact thing. The only difference is I'm kind of keeping this color a little bit lower on the lid and then slowly bringing it up to meet raw sienna in the crease, just so that it's a cool gradient going upwards. But again, it can be really sloppy. There's no technique really to this at all, just slap it on there. Alrighty, so next I'm going into a more dense brush into Cypress Umber. I really hope that's how you say that shadow. And I'm just placing this on the outer corner of my eye. This shade is probably it's definitely the darkest shade in the palette, so I'm taking a little bit at a time and slowly building it up because I don't want to put too much on at once, because then it just makes it difficult to blend out. So I'm kind of dragging that into the crease and blending it out with the other fluffy brush that we used before. And I'm just doing the same exact thing on the other eye. And blending it out. Alrighty, so next I'm going into the shade Vermeer. I really hope that's how you say it. It's Vermeer, I don't know. But we're just placing that all over the lid. And then just blending out any harsh edges on in the crease. And then just re-intensifying it if anything got blended away. The shimmer shades in this palette, they're not metallic by any means, but they are very beautiful and they have a really nice sheen to them. But they're not metallic, which I think is actually really appropriate for a day-to-day basis. Jared must have said something really funny. Then I'm going into the gold shade, Primavera, and I'm just going to place that lightly right on top of the pink shade that we put on there before, just to give it a little more of a rose goldy feel. And then I'm just going back in with a little bit of that dark brown color and re-intensifying that on the outer corner. Then I'm going back into that dark brown and I'm taking a small definer brush and really putting that very, very close to my waterline. And it might look crazy now, but we are gonna blend it out later. Right now, actually. So I'm gonna mix burnt orange and raw sienna together on this little smudger brush by e.l.f. and I'm just going underneath my eye and smudging that really dark brown out so that it's nice and smoky. So next I'm going back into that light pink shade and placing that in my inner corner, just for some pop of color. And then I'm just wiping all the fallout away. Now I'm going into that matte white shade and I'm placing that right underneath my eyebrows, under my brow bone, sorry. With a day-to-day look, I really like going for a matte brow bone highlight. So now I'm going into the Telescopic mascara by L'Oreal. This is a really great mascara. It really lengthens your lashes. On a day-to-day basis, I tend to skip false lashes. I don't really wear false lashes a lot anyway, unless it's for a really important event or a gig or something like that. I usually just stick to mascara, and this one really works for me. It does the job very well. And then I'm going in with the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. And this one is just gonna do exactly what the name says. It's just gonna volumize a little bit more. So with those two mascaras, you kind of get the best of both worlds. So now I'm going back in with the telescopic mascara and just using that on my lower lashes. I really like this mascara for the bottom lashes because the brush is so tiny you can get right up in there. And that's my happy dance, because we're almost done. Now I'm going in with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel and just setting my eyebrows down with that. On a day-to-day basis, I don't really do anything special with my brows. I kind of just, you know, put some brow gel in there and call it good. Now I'm going in with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil in the shade 1993. And this is like my favorite lip liner of all time. The Urban Decay lip liners are just great anyway. And sorry that this particular shot isn't focused. Looks a little funny, but we're learning. We're getting there. And I'm just lining my entire lips with this lip pencil. And now I'm going in with the Maybelline lipstick in the shade Clay Crush. This is one of their Velvet Matte lipsticks. The Maybelline Velvet Matte lipsticks are probably the best lipsticks you could ever find at the drugstore. Maybelline rocks their lipsticks. And now, finally, I'm going in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, my favorite setting spray of all time, and just drenching myself. Taking a quick shower with that. And you are all done. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel and like this video if you want to see more. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much again, and I will see you in my next video.